All right, let's get to an unboxing, and we'll do it in fast motion. Oh, this is so beautiful. All right, so on my birthday, like over 10, 12, 13 days ago, I saw this on eBay with a buy it now for like $24.99. And with tax and shipping, it was like 30 something bucks. And I didn't have like the $37.90 something cents it would cost. And I like had to rob Peter to pay Paul to get this. And so this seller said that this was a print. And it's actually not a print. It's actually a miniature portrait. Now, these miniature portraits are highly collectible, whether they're antique or vintage. And so this is known as a miniature. Let's zoom in here and get in and look what it's painted on. Now, it has an artist signature. I don't know if you can see that. But right there, it has an artist signature. And if you look really closely, this was done on ivory. And this is in mint condition. It looked like it was never ever used. And so let's go ahead and get in there so I could show you. You could see the striations and the paint. I don't know if you could see this. We'll take it outside. Okay, so you can see the actual brush strokes from the paintbrush. You can see that right there. Look, it has like little gold gilding on the crown of Madonna. This is the Madonna. I don't know if you guys can see this well. We see the artist signature. But you'll see little lines going through it. Now, lines that are actually equally in distance apart would denote that it was probably painted on celluloid, but I could see that the lines are actually different. And so that would mean that it's ivory. Really quite cool. I don't know. It's very hard to show you guys, but you can see it. Look at all this hand painting. Now, these type of miniatures, this is a miniature. It's actually a large miniature because usually miniatures are like fitting in the palm of your hand. This was known as something that would be a Grand Tour antique. Someone, of course, the helicopter has to fly by when I'm doing this. Yeah, this would be something that would be taken back to America from a Grand Tour of Europe. And these are highly collectible. The older they are and the better painted they are, of course, the more value. But this one is really outrageously beautiful. It is usually, these were made usually after an original artist painting or drawing. I believe it was after a painting by Raffaello, the Italian artist Raffaello, who painted many churches. And so this is something that you would bring back from, say, your tour of Italy or the Grand Tour of Italy. The Grand Tour was something that wealthier people did. They went on a tour of Europe and they would bring back these souvenirs. And I'll flip it over and show you the back. And it's like suede material. My guess is this was made, let me try to guess. This was probably made, I'm going to go with probably the early 20th century. So from 1900 to like about 1930s, 1940s. More likely Art Deco, probably from the 20s, 30s. And it is really a great find for that price. Let's go sideways with it. That might work. But you can see this is not one of your best. Usually these were actually a print that they painted over. The better ones are, of course, freehand. So this value for this piece would be about, let's see, with its size and the beautiful frame that it's in, I would say something like this would sell in the $200 to $400 price range, sometimes as much as $500, but most likely to $200 to $400 price range. We'll look at other comparables right now and see what they sell for. All right, so I put it on a stand and it's beautiful. All right, let's look at the comparables and what pieces like this sell for. Especially, this is actually considered a very large size one, and usually they're palm size, so this is quite cool. So I wanted to show you some others that you will find if you're searching for these type of miniatures. Here's like one of the French noble ladies, and this one, I think it has an artist signature on it. I don't know, but this one is small. It fits more in the palm of the hand. Let's go to the next example. Let's see. And here's another miniature. This is Madame Reclamier. Reclamier. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I know you people in the background will have to like bark about it, but this one this is a good price. $164.26. It's saying it's from the 1920s right here on Etsy. And it even has an old newspaper in Latin attached to the back of it, which is quite cool. Let's go on to the next example. Here's another one for $250. This one's an antique miniature painting after Raphael, Marriage of the Virgin, icon art, $250. And you can see this is the palm of the hand. Very similar to the style of mine. Let's go ahead and go check that. We do have an artist signature right there. And again, sometimes these could be actually quite pricey, which is really interesting. Let's go on to the next one. And here's an early 20th century one. And this one is 5.9 centimeters by, actually it's with the frame, it's 7.5 centimeters. So this one is really small, as you can see. 239, I think that's euros or pounds, which would be more money in US dollars. And here's an idea of the painting. You can see the brush strokes above the picture. Really quite cool. And it's after the artist Filippo Lippi. And it's Madonna, early 20th century. This looks very familiar, doesn't it? It looks like Our Lady. And it's selling for $225. Antique 19th century painting. This one is actually better done. You know, it's better painted than mine. But there we go. And you can see it's probably after Raphael, I believe. This one comes in a frame. Very tiny. It did have an artist signature on it. Here's yet another one going for about $237. As you can see, I did pretty well at my $24.99 price, even with shipping it being $37.99. Now you know why I had to rob Peter to pay Paul to get this. Okay, so here's another example. It doesn't even have to be something that's like in a frame just for decorative use. This one is a brooch, and this one is 800 silver, which is European silver. It means it's 80% silver, and it's tiny. This one is about 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches in diameter, and it's going for $250. And these things are actually not cheap when you find them. Okay, upon further research, we find out that this is definitely after Raphael, and the name of it is the Madonna of the Goldfinch, or Madonna del Cardellino. And this little example here is being sold for $252. And this is late 19th century, they're saying. But I think it's really more early 20th century. And there we go. Same image as mine. Really quite interesting. And again, an example showing you that these things are not cheap. You collect these things, they'll cost you some money. This is the original painting. And really, really amazingly cool. This one is damaged. The seller said that it's damaged, and it's only going for $120. But there you go. We have an antique 1900 miniature portrait painting. Again, early 20th century. So again, from 1900 to about the 30s is my guess. And yet we got another one here selling for 300 doll hairs, the same image. All of them differ, of course, because they were done by different painters. This one has an artist signature on it as well. And this one's framed very nicely. And this was something that a tourist would have brought back on their trip of the Grand Tour of Europe. Let's check out any more that we might see. Here we go. Here is another one. This one's selling for $297.50. And again, it's another after Raphael's Madonna del Cardellino. And you'll see many different ones, some better than others, some worse than others. Mine is just like, I'd say, in between good and terrible, and not the best, but not the worst. And this is highway robbery, folks. $2,325, although it is in gold. But you can see the same image as mine. Probably a similar, like, artist workshop. And we have, yeah, it looks like the same signature as mine. Oh, wow. Okay, so now we know that this person even placed it in a brooch that was in yellow gold. $2,325. Is this person on crack? I don't know. But this is what the back looks like. And it is a brooch. And apparently it says it's 18 karat gold in the description. 18 karat yellow gold, done by the same artist as mine. And too bad mine's not an 18 karat gold. So once again, thank you so much for watching. As you can tell, the reason why I had to have this was because, come on, you can't pass off $24.99 when you see that these things sell, anywhere in the $150 to $2,000 price range. Generally, though, the average for these are between, especially one in this size, you can see this is a nice large size, would be between $200 and $400. Doll hairs, I was going to say, but dollars. And it is quite lovely, and it was quite a score for me, and especially with this frame being so beautiful as it is. This was not the best score I've ever made, but a really good score. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, hit all. You'll see any one of my uploaded videos about antiques, holy relics, and all sorts of interesting things. If you want also to get pretty much an idea about the price and what the value of something is, I do lots of research on my channel, and I like to teach people about the history about historical objects, relics, and just everyday antiques or vintage items. See you guys all soon on the next unboxing.